And like when you play Res Bowl too, like the refs kind of let things go. 5 games in, I couldn't walk for a week. I was like, oh my body was hurting. I had bruises everywhere. Part about it, I loved it. I fed for that. I was like, yes, please.
Welcome to the War Scouts Basketball Podcast with Mike and Nate. I'm one of your hosts, Name Cardinal, and as always, I'm here with my bro, Mike Swampy, aka Swamp Bro, aka Swampy, aka Swamp Dog, aka Swamp Juice.
Swamp Dog, got that dog in me.
That's right. How are you doing this week?
Doing well? I'm feeling well. Feeling well. Yep. I'm quite happy. I'm overjoyed with our last episode. It was fun, and we had some pretty good feedback from the fellow basketball sickos.
Definitely. I'm definitely feeling well after last week's episode and feeling good to be here again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All native basketball tournament going on right now. Been catching any of that?
Absolutely. I hate to say this. I missed the Hartley Bay boys, but you're giving me the text updates. I had to go play my men's league basketball game, and I showed up. Good thing I did, because we were 5 deep, and we had only 5 guys for the game. But no, I caught the game afterwards. We watched. I believe it was Bella Kula and Kitimat that were playing. That was an exciting game. Came down to the wire on I think the last free throws, and Bella Kula had a chance to win the game. They ended up missing the shot, so that was pretty exciting. We saw our doppelganger. We saw my cousin Cleve out there. Looked exactly like him. I had to message Cleve and say, "Did you drive down to Prince Rupert to play?" He had the long hair, the goggles, everything.
Yeah. Oh, that was totally Cleveland. Like, you sent me that text, and I couldn't unsee it after that, and I couldn't stop laughing. Oh man, I was like, "That's Cleveland. He's in Prince Rupert right now."
Drove down that day. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that they even had like a similar playing style, because like when Cleveland plays, he just like goes all out, just like this.
Yes.
Like, huge motor, just giving it his all the whole time, and like that guy was playing the same way.
Shout out Cleve. You can follow him, Bear Hills Basketball. He's from my community. He's obviously my cousin.
Yeah, Cleveland's a great guy. I always appreciate him and enjoy hanging out with him when I get the chance. Yeah, it's been really good basketball. Like watching a few of those men's teams, like the Zaagi'idiwin team played the other night. Watching Zaagi'idiwin. I watched the kahkiyaw versus Hartley Bay game. So that was Jacob Tom is back in the tournament. He's currently, I believe, he's coaching at VIU right now on Vancouver Island, but he's up at the tournament this year with kahkiyaw, and he looks so good out there. Like, I just couldn't believe, like, he just like hitting threes, going to the basket, just unreal.
Come on, Austin. You gotta step your game up. We're out here cheering for you.
Yeah, walk them down. We were cheering for you, watching you closely. Yeah, I got a few I got a few pictures of Austin I posted on my Instagram. Just awesome to see him in the Hartley Bay team up there, just playing in that tourney. And I can't remember what time off the top of my head, but they're in like the double knockout side now, so they got to win to stay alive. Just to give everyone an update.
They're in the backdoor boogie, we were calling it.
Yeah, that's right. I even caught some of the Zaagi'idiwin women's team, and then also the other one, and they're like, both teams are like so well run and just so strong. They have a lot of like really great basketball players on the women's and the men's team. And when I last checked the score, they were winning by 14, but I didn't catch the end of the game. But I'll have to check the score to see if the Zaagi'idiwin women's team won, and the men's team is playing tonight. So I'm going to be sure to catch that one.
Absolutely. It's pretty cool. They the All Native Basketball Tournament on Facebook posts all the photos, and you can kind of see all the action through the photos. And I was looking, and the women play in it's like an ice rink, eh? It's the arena.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
really
where the
cool.
hockey team plays.
Yeah, they got a court in the arena there. So
Yeah,
you're
it's,
seeing hip checks out there on the boards, and
yeah, yeah, at the penalty box working. Yeah, yeah, they got a pretty good setup out there.
Yeah, calling offsides for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so just doing a little recap of our last episode. Any thoughts on that one?
Yes. We had a great conversation with Megan, and the feedback was primarily in regards to sort of the authenticity that Megan brought to the conversation. And it was so cool to catch up with her, and she made it so easy for us just to have a conversation, and we felt comfortable in sort of having that discussion with her. And she brought so much knowledge in terms of just her coaching and sort of her experience up north, and her philosophy on what she believes, like what basketball should mean to the kids and what it meant to her. And you don't want to take basketball away from these kids. It could be their only outlet and that sort of thing. And I thought that was really cool, and it's something that I really resonated with. Like, I thought she was so well spoken, and it was really cool having that discussion with her.
Yeah, I totally feel the same way. I enjoyed doing that interview. It was just good to catch up, and it was like 3 friends just sitting down and visiting, and to hear like all of her insights on her coaching experiences and making those connections back. I'm sure you were feeling the same way when she was talking about all her times when she was a coach and experiences with the kids and how much she learned from them. That was really powerful to listen to. And one of the things that stood out to me was she mentioned that she's friends with Abby, who is the late Alan Ross's daughter. Said that before she came on the pod, she was listening back to some of the episodes, and she noticed that we brought up Alan's name quite a few times, and so she talked to Abby about that. And it's good to know that she was able to hear how much of an impact that Alan had on our lives, like as individuals, but I think just like also the greater Indigenous basketball community, especially in Edmonton, like has grown so much just because of him.
Yes, absolutely.
And I also I love listening to her talk about working in the Indigenous communities, and just hearing the stories like about her and her partner were telling us, and like as she was telling us, and as I was going back and listening to the episode, it was great to just hear those stories and hear how impactful like of an experience that kids had, like such a positive experience when they were coaching there. And like you just like totally got that sense that the kids were like building on their like self-confidence and their sense of identity and just like their love and pride for being a part of that basketball team. And I just feel like I feel so fortunate that we know so many awesome people, and it was good to have her here with us. And I just overall though, I had a lot of fun recording that entire episode, and I love our intro part, and just like getting to like talk hoops with you and like reminisce and all that stuff. So I had a great time last episode for sure.
Yeah, even the edits that don't get edited out. We always say we're gonna edit things out, but we don't actually edit things out.
Yeah. Sometimes we edit out the ums and uhs.
Yes, absolutely. Through our interviews, we've heard a few voice cracks between Namer and myself, and even our guests. And I'm like, maybe we'll try to take that one out somehow.
Yeah. And it was so good, and like I got very emotional like during the actual interview, and then even after, just listening back and hearing.
Yes, it was
saying all the good things.
And I was trying to think of a description for the video, and I thought, a Megan Tipler interview that would make your heart grow 3 sizes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
When you sent that description to me, I was like, this is spot on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so transitioning into our starting 5. For any new listeners, this is our shout out segment of the podcast. So really wanting to highlight people out there in the community doing amazing things, or just really anyone you want to show love to. Last week, we asked the listeners and followers on social media to send in some nominations for our starting 5, and we want to continue to do that each week. please share with us someone who you think should be on our starting five. If you know someone who's doing something deadly or someone who just deserves a shout out, please send us a message on our socials and tell us why, and we'll include them here each week. So we'll get started with the starting five. First on the starting five this week, this was coming in from Russell Williams, athletic director at Providence College, who was also on our starting five last week. Russell let us know that Danny Demery Beauchamp deserves to be on our starting five. He's a 6-foot guard with the Providence College Pilots men's basketball team and recently earned a roster spot with the team as after starting the year as a redshirt member of the team. The Providence Pilots are members of both the Manitoba Colleges Athletic Conference and the Northern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, or the NIAC. And the NIAC is a 9-team league, and it's part of the National Christian College Athletic Association. So they play both in Canada and in the United States and in these two leagues. And I really appreciated that starting five nomination, because I think that whole theme that we've been kind of going on, just like inadvertently, like not purposely talking about like opportunities that we get in basketball. And, the fact that Danny started the year as a redshirt, and now, it's almost end of season and playoff time's right around the corner, and he's going to be in the lineup. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Attaboy, Danny. Redshirt gang.
That's right.
Our next spot in the starting five goes out to our men's and women's Similkameen basketball teams. This shout out comes from Dominique Alexis in West Bank, BC. The coach out there, Peter Wardenberg, is the coach, and he does a lot of programming to support youth and sport within the interior BC. Both teams work year-round to prepare for the All-Native Basketball Tournament, and she wanted to give some recognition for all their hard work. So thanks for sending that in, Dom. And go Similkameen, men's and women's.
That's right. I'll be cheering for them too. Next on the starting five is Michael Belrose. Mike is one of our friends, like one of our teammates, and is always supporting us by listening to the podcast, sharing and liking all of our social media posts. We really appreciate that a lot, Mike. Like Mike always sends me messages about what he's currently listening to, and is asking me questions, and he's always like resharing our stuff. Like anything on Facebook, he'll repost it, and make sure that the people he's friends with on Facebook are aware of our podcast. And yeah, he's just a great buddy and Commonwealth Stadium legend right there.
Our next spot goes to all the teams, organizers, volunteers, and fans at the All Native Basketball Tournament, and the officials as well for providing another awesome tournament. It takes a lot of hard work and many hands to run a tournament, and we want to say thank you to everyone who helps make this tournament happen. Me and Naim have enjoyed watching and can only imagine the scope of work that goes into preparing and traveling for everyone who attends this tournament. Ai hai, ish, nish, magwech, masi, chol. Really appreciate all the hard work out there. Yep, tap way.
Tap way. All right, and then the fifth spot on our starting five goes out to Vi Manuel, who's a mutual friend of Mike and myself. She's out in Kamloops, BC, and she's a big supporter of our podcast, and just like a really huge supporter in general of Indigenous basketball. She's always sharing tournament info, just really trying to like lift the Indigenous basketball community up. And this week she shared our podcast on her Facebook, and she suggested that we come up to the Kamloops Invitational next month to set up and do a pod from there. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to make that happen, because I'm supposed to be traveling at that time, and I'm not sure if Mike is going or not.
I do not know. I don't think I'll be able to make it.
Yeah, I am traveling during that same time, so not sure if I can come and help you move.
Well, we might have an in-person pod then. We might be able to get the studio set up. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I hope so. That'll be cool to do an in-person episode. All right, moving along into the world of basketball. Just a couple things to make note of here.
Yeah, so in the world of basketball, we have the Border Battle Basketball Championships happening March 29th to 31st in Onion Lake Cree Nation. It's pretty cool. They have the U19 males, adult females, and adult males. And then for first place, they have a banner, sweaters, and some cash. Second place, they have a trophy and cash. And then third place, they also have a trophy and cash. So contact Gregory Montana or Shane Whitstone for any information.
Yeah,
so yeah, super exciting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike is pretty modest, but we did go to a tournament in Onion Lake before, and he got an MVP award. And if you want to see a photo of that, you can have a look at our War Scouts basketball team Instagram. You'll see him with his pretty deadly beaded MVP medallion that he got.
Yeah, that was probably one of the cooler MVP awards that I gotten. A beaded MVP medallion is actually pretty dope. And you forgot the best part is that I won MVP in a losing cause.
Yeah, we got second place. Yeah, when we used to be competitive. Yeah, that was a good tournament though. I remember like they treated us really well, and before we left, they fed us. They like said, "You guys got to come and eat before you leave." So they took us into the kitchen. I remember there's like burger and fries everywhere. It was good before you were hitting the road.
Yeah, they're a great host.
All right, and next same weekend, we briefly mentioned this. The 31st annual Kamloops Invitational All-Native Basketball Tournament is taking place in Kamloops, BC on March 30th and 31st at the Tournament Capital Center in Kamloops, BC. So I've played in this tournament before, just never played at the Tournament Capital Center, so I'm not sure what the vibe is there with that. But I know like when I was playing at the old site at South Kamloops Secondary School, just a great gym to play in, and just like felt like the crowd was like right on top of you in that facility. But I from what I know about the tournament center, it's like a huge facility. So you played in it there before, Mike?
Yeah, I have. And another great tournament, another fun tournament, because springtime, the weather's nice. You're kind of escaping the Alberta winter. It's a good opener tournament for the tournament season, I guess. Yeah, I loved it going out there. In between games, we went golfing for a little bit. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it's a fun tournament. I think the tournament organizer is Charlie Fortier. Is that Yep. And so contact her for any details. And yeah, it filled up quick. We tried to enter a team. We tried to enter a men's league team, and we couldn't get in. It was packed.
Yeah, it's a popular tournament, and like I will say, like the level of competition there is always strong. They treated us pretty well the year I went to play there. Had some good memories, and it was actually the story that Lyle told about the guy when he signed the ball and passed it to the guy that happened at that tournament. But I would love to go back one day and maybe play. We'll see. But that's always a really, really good tournament. Everyone loves going there. And just going back to that, what you said about, having a nice break from winter. I remember the year we went there, it was warm out. We were not wearing jackets, and coming from Edmonton at the end of March, it's still cold. It's like practically winter. I remember seeing Colin Bird standing outside of his truck and just standing there in like a tank top. I was like, man, this is pretty warm here.
That's when you made the decision to move out to the Okanagan.
Yeah, that was when I made that decision. Thanks, Colin.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of our world of basketball. Thanks everyone for listening to us for this first little intro. Coming up next, we have an interview with Robyn Boulanger. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right.
You did.
All right. Okay, perfect. Hi, Yishnish Magwech. XA.
Okay, we're here with our interview, Robyn Boulanger. Robyn Boulanger is from Barons River First Nation, Manitoba, and is a teacher, athlete, coach, and business owner with a passion for Indigenous education. She has a Bachelor of Physical Health and Education, as well as a Bachelor of Education from the University of Winnipeg. She's currently studying for a Master's of Education, specializing in Indigenous education at the University of British Columbia. She focuses her study on examining the benefits of integrating Indigenous knowledge with sport. Throughout her academics, Robyn was a USports student athlete and played for the Westman women's basketball team at the University of Winnipeg. She was part of the Westman 2021-22 Canada West and USports national playoff appearances, where she earned a silver medals in both divisions. Prior to her university career, she was a high-performance athlete, playing at many national basketball events for local and provincial teams. Robyn is now in her first year as an assistant coach for the Westman program. She was recently appointed to be the head coach for the Basketball Manitoba's U15 provincial team for the females for this summer to compete at the Canada Basketball National Championships in Newfoundland. Robyn is an advocate for Indigenous athletes, encouraging them to take their sport to the next level while continuing the connection to culture. This vision has led her to launch Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance, which is a platform for Indigenous and non-Indigenous athletes to access in-person and online sport training services that aim to improve performance on and off the court. And just a side note, Robyn scored over 1,000 points over her university basketball career and had averages of 14.6, 3.4 rebounds per game, 3.2 assists per game, and 1.75 steals per game in her final season at the University of Winnipeg. Such an unreal career, and we're very honored to have Robyn with us. Thank you for joining us today, Robyn. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I didn't realize I had that many rebounds. I didn't know I averaged that much compared to what I usually do on the court. But no, I just want to say thanks for having me. I really appreciate this, and I'm looking forward to our chat.
No, thank you, Robyn. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with two washed up basketball players here.
I'm joining that category now, but maybe 3 now.
So we just went over your bio, and you've had an amazing career at the U of W, and just fill in our listeners about your basketball journey, where it sort of started.
Yeah, of course. I was born and raised in Winnipeg, but my family and my heart is the community in Bears River. Never lived on reserve, and I visited a lot, and basketball was always huge in my family, as well as hockey. So growing up when I was a kid, I played a lot of sports and played around with a few, and was trying to figure out which kind of fit my style. And hockey and basketball were really, really close. My dad was a hockey player, and it wasn't about till I was about 8 or 10 that I decided to just strictly focus on basketball. I was always better at it anyways. So I started playing at a very young age, just fell in love with it. And for me, picking up that basketball kind of changed my career moving on as a teacher or as an owner, business owner, or an athlete. So basketball's medicine to me. And I started playing at a young age for a few club teams, and I really throughout that process, I really didn't really feel comfortable as an Indigenous athlete, because through the 2000s it wasn't we didn't want to see Indigenous kids succeed at that time, and then everything was just starting to come to the surface about what happened with our people. So when I decided to do basketball, I was a little bit blinded to the racism and the stereotypes, and my family and we kind of just got tired of it. And so we ended up starting in 2008. We ended up starting a nonprofit basketball club called Anishinaabe Pride. And essentially, we wanted to bring together inner city and Indigenous kids who were ballers and could play at the next level to compete at these Manitoba club championships and stuff like that. And we went in, killed the league. My sisters were the first to kind of start it. So I have 2 older sisters who play basketball as well. So I look up to them very, very much. And the reason probably why I started playing basketball, because I was always watching them and watching them in high school or playing Pride. I wasn't old enough yet at the time. And I was always called the halftime show. So during their high school games, I would just little Robyn with a little ball and a little Dora haircut with the bangs onto the court and just start shooting. And I was shooting from the 3-point line, and all these people in the stands, I wouldn't lie, I really liked the attention when I was a kid, but I was shooting, and everyone would call me the halftime show. So basketball was just always there for me. And then once I kind of got to that age, I started to take it a little bit more seriously, especially after grade 9. I played for a lot of high performance club teams. So Center for Performance, which was a side Canada basketball program in provinces. So got the chance to play at that and travel to a lot of places. So went to some state tournaments, but I didn't really feel comfortable like I was when I was playing for Pride, my family's club. So yeah, so I played club. I played provincial teams in high school. So I went to some of the national championships. In 2014 I did 15U, which now I'm head coaching, so full circle. I did 15U, and then I did 17U 2 years. 1 year I won silver with the team, but I was a little bit of a bench player, and I was pretty injured that summer. So I did my role, which was awesome. I learned a lot of patience, and humbled me a little bit. So that was nice. And then I went back and played 17U as my last year, and it was my best year. I got on the all-star team for that weekend, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, and after that, I decided to go post-secondary, play University of Winnipeg, and that kind of where my journey as a basketball player in e-sport kind of started. So
Awesome. I just want to say one thing and ask one thing. You mentioned that Anishinaabe Pride, your club team, and
yeah.
playing for that, you felt a lot of confidence in playing with obviously your family and people who might have looked like you, right? Being Indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
What was the transition like playing for like a provincial team or like a non-Indigenous team? Did you feel like you struggled a little bit with that?
Yeah, it was very different in a sense where competition was all that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
On a club team, it was all the girls we would look at each other and be like, who can be better and who could start, who could play most minutes. Whereas, when I played with the National Bay Pride, we were all family, we were all friends, we were all close, and we all got similar minutes. We all knew each other's talents, right? So, Pride really valued the seven sacred teachings and integrating Indigenous knowledge through that. And we didn't just teach basketball skills; we taught lifelong skills. Like there was other programs that came out of it. There was something called the Sacred Seven program, where we had speakers come in as young people and just kind of educate us on traditional teachings like balancing the medicine wheel, which I hold dearly to my heart till this day. So those little things just made a really difference in my career. My friends' careers at the time, a lot of them are now, either working and have undergrads or have children, family of their own, right? And it's all success based on Pride and what they learned through that. So yeah, it was a huge difference. And then I would go into the clubs. The one thing I would say is just like I don't like being able to be exposed to those club teams. I had to leave Pride in order to get my opportunities. I did, unfortunately, but always stay close to Pride.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That holistic approach is so important, especially as a youth growing up. And we Namer and myself, we try to emulate a little bit of that with our Muscatcheese basketball club back in the day. And I can't speak highly enough about how important it is to have Indigenous clubs within Indigenous communities, for sure.
No, 1,000%. And the one thing with Pride too, we didn't just focus on Indigenous kids, and we really just tried to bring inner city kids from all backgrounds together and just show like the lower income family household. Doesn't matter, we can come through those barriers, and Pride brought in funding to be able to eliminate those barriers. And we don't really have a club like that right now, and it's in Manitoba specifically because unfortunately during COVID, my parents, they did it for 12 years and they can only take so much. And, that's probably why I kind of started Zaagi'idiwin, but we're just a little different in a sense of what we're offering. But I just wish there was still a club team that was here that, took the reins of that, because it did give really good opportunities. And a lot of players did go play college or university, and, some play pro. And it's just really like heartwarming to see that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, providing kids with a sense of belonging through sport is so important in grounding that in their identity of who they are. It doesn't matter what their background is, and just giving that sense of pride in their identity and where they come from is key. And I think a lot of that can open doors for other things, not just basketball wise, but just, within their own lives. And you said you had a big basketball family or big sport family, right? Like you have an older sister. Is your sister Raven?
Yeah, I have two older sisters. My oldest sister is Raven, and she's currently a community developer for a nonprofit organization in Winnipeg, and it's pretty cool to see her do that work. And then my other sister is Scalar, and she's a nurse right now. She's studying to do her RN. So all different kind of careers, pretty cool though. I got to play 1 year actually with my sister Skylar. My sister Skylar is 6'1", and I'm 5'5". I have no idea where she got the height. My parents are short, so she got the height, and I'm very jealous. But I made it work. I like to joke that us three are the perfect 3-on-3 team because we got the little guard, me, Raven's a shooter, mid guard, like shooting guard, and we got Skylar the post. So yeah, it was really cool. I got to play 1 year with Skylar when I was in my rookie year, and she was in her final year. So that was probably my favorite year out of my program or out of my career.
Cool. Yeah, there's purpose behind all that height.
Yeah,
within your family. I think we've actually crossed paths with your sisters at tournaments before, and I think that's why the names were familiar to us.
Yeah, for sure. There's they've done lots. Like I said, I thank them a lot for my success and where I was, especially in the community and all the stuff that they do. Yeah, they're basically my role models when I was a kid, and now I'm the better player though. I like to do that.
Yeah, let them know.
Let
them know. Yeah,
they'll watch this and they'll be like, "Hey, that's not nice," but I joke all the time with it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so you had a great 5-year playing career at the USports level. We read your bio, just like all the accomplishments you've had were amazing. Coming out of high school, you were recruited by the University of Winnipeg. I walked on to a basketball program. Michael did as well. I'm just wondering, what was that process of choosing a school to attend like, and like what kind of thought process went into making that decision?
Yeah, for sure. I went to high school at UW Collegiate, so it's basically a high school in a university campus. So it's a very unique program that I was able to do. It's a private school, so got a really higher education, which was awesome. And I was just always around campus. I was always Skylar played there, starting in when did she start? She must have started in 2012 or 2011, and she started her career there as well. And it was just kind of just fell into place that I was always a Westman and I was always going to play there. But I did have in high school, especially, I did have some other opportunities to move away, and even in Manitoba, I had some opportunities. But I just felt like I always wanted to be home, and the UW felt home to me at the time, and it all just kind of made sense for me to go there. And I know my support system was going to be great no matter what, because I was already coming to games all the time. I was just around. I would come watch practices, so everything just fell into place. So I got really, really lucky with it.
Yeah, that's so cool to be able to play at a hometown university. And back when you were the halftime show to now you are, yeah,
for sure.
Now you're suiting up. So now you currently have this wonderful organization called Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance. Did I say that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just tell us a little bit about it and what it's all about?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, my parents, they're a nonprofit club called Pride. Everything I learned was through that and who I was as a person and an educator, right? So those values were instilled with me really early on. I strongly believe I don't think I would have been successful as I was in my basketball career without integrating my culture into my sport. So I thank a lot to my family and my culture. And I just throughout my career, I've always had young people come up to me from all backgrounds, not just Indigenous kids, and just share how much they look up to me and how much they want to play like me. And I've always had this weird playing style. I was not the fastest kid. I was a little bit bigger. I was a little slower, but I was always very smart with how I played. And sometimes that beats it, right? Beats then the athletic person. And I learned how to work out later on in my career, which was nice, but kind of gave me a little bit better boost. But yeah, I don't think I just wanted to be able to provide those youth like with something like, hey, you want to learn from me? Here's where you can go learn. But because I was a student athlete, I was very busy practicing 6 times a week, training on my own, homework. It was very, very busy time for me. So after I graduated, I still had these thoughts of like, I want to start something. I want to start something where I could give back to the community, but I can also, start something for myself. And taking those values from Pride and taking my own values, my own experiences, I put together Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance, which is a training platform for Indigenous and non-Indigenous athletes to to access these services to play at the next level. So whether it be in person or remote, and all things that I've learned. So right now I'm a kid student, so I have a little bit of background in personal training, and also a coach. So I've coached a lot. So the three services we're really focused on is strength and conditioning programming, especially in communities. I've had experiences going to communities where they do have the equipment available, they just don't know how to use it, right? And if they had a person like me or some of the people that are on my team to show them how to use it, then like how would that get them to the next level? How would that make them successful down the road, right? And not just basketball. We want to focus on other sports in the future. Just basketball right now is all I know. And then the other one is offering skill sessions in person, or also one-on-one coaching through online components. So if I have an athlete that lives in BC, say example, I'm continuously calling them, sending them drills to do, sending them practice plans that they can do on their own time. Haven't gotten an outside person yet. I'm hoping that I could. But yeah, so, and then we'll have in person as well. We're doing some training at the UW right now with a small group of girls, and we want to expand to the male side eventually. We have some goals for that. And then the last one is mentorship. So just providing mentors for Indigenous athletes and non-Indigenous athletes who have played at the next level. So as part of my team, we have some athletes who were past university players or now university players. So it's pretty cool for them to be able to connect with mentors that have the same experience and same background, right? So yeah, we're all doing this while integrating Indigenous knowledge. So 7 Sacred Teachings, what does respect look like in the sport of basketball? Respecting yourself, right? Respecting the equipment, the environment, the audience, the refs. I had a little trouble with the refs as a kid, so I need to make sure I do that. But yeah, so we're very in the early stages. We started in June, and we've come a long way, and I'm hoping that we'll get even bigger. I have personal goals. I do want to own a gym. I want to open a gym with a basketball court that has all these little cool like one-on-one training things that you see online. So like shooting machines, all the pads, and just be able to work with kids, right? And specific skills too, not just team practices, right? So instilling that student athlete lifestyle early on is our goal.
Just out of curiosity, where would your gym be located?
Depends where I'm living. I don't know where I'm living next year. Everything's up in the air, but if it's in Winnipeg, it'd be Winnipeg, and then hopefully open up other locations in other cities. But that would be really cool, is to have a gym, and then the side of it have a weight room, have some trainers within that, and then a teaching room and a teaching room for being able to provide those mentorships, right? So yeah.
Hopefully you expand in Alberta.
Yeah, that's the goal. So let's start talking to people for me.
Yeah. That's so key. Like I really wish I had that type of training when I was, coming out of high school or transitioning to university, because that would have made a huge difference. Yeah. I remember we talked with Kyler and Austin just about the transition from high school to university, and like all the players there, they've been working out for 3 to 4 years prior to you arriving, and it's kind of, you're almost at a disadvantage immediately as soon as you step onto the court.
For sure. And like the skills that we try to teach, like when I offer in-person stuff right now, I keep it to a limit of an hour, right? Because when you're a student athlete, you're expected to put in work on your own, but it doesn't need to be 2 hours. Like it's just, you already have a team practice later in the day. It could be early mornings. I believe in November, December, I organized early morning sessions. We had a really good success because kids would come in at 7 until 8 and then go to school, right? That's student athlete lifestyle. Then they would have their school practices later on. So just instilling that like quick training, and you come in and out type of thing, and you get the work in, then you go hard and you're good for the day, and you go and do your team practices. Because when you're in a team practice, it's focused on larger drills, and you don't really get that individual stuff in, right? Unless a coach is integrating that. But our skills that we do is very specific to the game. So if we're working on footwork, we'll do a cross jab or a jab and go, like little things like that will be really precise. Or reading screens, so snaking it, or pulling back and attacking and switching speed, right? Those are little things that we're doing, post moves, all that stuff, right? And we just really try to tailor it to what the athletes want and what their goals are specifically as a player. So it's very unique. We try to focus on that and not as a big picture. So, and I wish I had that, because like I said, I was a slow player, and if I knew how to work out early on, or knew how to do the extra work, and I probably would have had a way better career than I did. But yeah,
definitely. And I think you're providing a good foundation for youth who are wanting to get serious about basketball and like play at a higher level. It sounds like a lot of that, like the foundation for what you did has really come from what you learned from your work, like with your family's basketball team, all those cultural values and all the work that you put in there. How many athletes are you currently working with?
Around 10 to 15, both male and female. Right now with our small group, we have around 8 girls to 10 girls. And then I have about 4 one-on-one clients, and both non-Indigenous as well. We have a few non-Indigenous kids in there too. And it's something that I instill with them early on is I'm never trying to impose these values. I don't want to force Indigenous values on you, but these are, hey, here's ways that you could pull into your everyday lifestyle that can actually benefit you. And I've had positives from these girls that, don't have a history of Indigenous knowledge. And it's just so heartwarming to see, because that's part of reconciliation, right? And they're partaking in that as a young person. So we try to promote it as, when I'm telling people what it is, I say Indigenous athletes and non-Indigenous athletes, because everybody is involved, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. And like, even like the name of your organization, Zaagi'idiwin, means love. And like love is translated into any culture or language. Like that's just like the foundation for life, essentially. So
yeah,
you're giving that to kids.
For sure. We decided to go with that because, our foundation's built on the 7 sacred teachings, and love is in there. So exactly what I talked about, respect, love needs to be present to perform at the highest level of sport. And love can look in different ways, right? Loving your teammates, loving the game of basketball, what comes with it. So losing, winning, training, it all has something to play a role in your career.
Awesome. Yeah, you sound very busy. Like
a
little bit. Yeah. So yeah, you're a teacher, a graduate student, fitness instructor, personal trainer, and now business owner. How do you manage your time balancing all these roles?
I don't even know, honestly. For me, if I'm super busy with one thing, I'll stick to that. Like right now I'm in a term for teaching. I try to keep my schedule like flexible. So I didn't take on any like full-time education contracts that I was offered. One, because I thought I was going to play pro, but things didn't really work out in the summer. And 2, I just want to try to keep my schedule open. So if my business needs me to go to a community, then I'm able to do that, right? Or if I need to do this and that, like everything's super flexible. If I need to take a day to focus on my business, then I'll do that. Whereas like if I did have a full-time, it was a little different. But right now I'm in a term, so I have been a little bit backsided for trying to promote more things on my business, even though I have already a good group of girls that I'm working with, because I've been super busy and teaching all day. So I just try to like take time, and especially on the weekends, I try to devote some time to, especially Zaagi'idiwin. Try to procrastinate a little bit with homework for my master's. I have an assignment due today, so I did a little bit of it last minute, but the master's program is very flexible, and life happens, and that's what I really love about the master's program at UBC. So, I just try my best to schedule things when I need and keep organized through that on a calendar. But sometimes things fall through, and I don't put too much pressure on myself. So, yeah.
What's your assignment on? Me and Naim can probably help you here. We're we're 2 masters ourselves. No,
yeah, it's actually really easy. It's my first assignment because I'm in an Indigenous research methodologies class right now. So just a paper on who we are as people and our research positionality. So it's more of a narrative than a research paper, which is nice. So I just type. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got it in a bag.
Yeah, I actually finished it before this, so I was like grinding it out on my computer. But like I said, they're very supportive, and the cohort is very, very close. Like we have a lot of us are very, very close, even after just meeting for a week in the summer in August, which was our first time meeting each other. So yeah,
that's cool.
That's so cool.
Good for you.
So, Robyn, while you played at the University of Winnipeg, you used to do something special before every game. Can you fill in our listeners on what you did?
Yeah, for sure. I like I said, I don't think I would have been successful without my culture. And I would smudge before every game and use sage because it's a woman's medicine and it keeps me grounded. And I would smudge my arms, I would smudge my ears so I can hear good things on the court, my mouth so I don't melt out to the refs. Sometimes didn't happen. Oh, it's with my shoulders, like every area of my body, just so I can stay injury free, right? And I was luckily throughout my career, I never had really any season-ending injuries. Than what most basketball players experience. I have a few rolled ankles here and there, but I just I would do that, and it became a part of my routine, my everyday game day routine. So I would smudge before a game, and then I would also put cedar in my shoes, so just as an extra layer of keeping close to our sacred medicines to keep me injury free. And the times that I did roll my ankles, I forgot cedar, so it's pretty telling that that's something I needed to keep doing. And last year it was very cool to start seeing my teammates kind of join in, so it was really nice. So my dad would always bring us a bundle of cedar, and everyone would put it in, and so that's exactly what I would do for a game day routine. And yeah,
that's so cool. That's reconciliation. When we were young and we were playing club ball, my brother used to smudge himself, and he would always go to his feet and he's like, smudge my feet so I could jump higher.
He knows the secrets.
Yeah.
No, I think that's so important. Like, even just smudging is a form of practicing mindfulness. Like, getting yourself sort of in the zone before you actually go out there and play. I think that's huge.
No, for sure. And it got easy and easy. It's just a little thing you need to do, right? And it's nothing crazy. And and people see it and hear your story, and they're like, I want to do that too. So something I very try to put upon my girls too that I'm working with.
That's awesome. And when you're yelling at those refs, like, you're saying it with love.
Yes.
So, good intentions coming there.
Yeah, I won't lie, I got a few teas, but it was not for it was never for their calls. It was more just protecting my teammates, right? So I'm a very loving person when it comes to that. So
it's awesome. So do you still hoop, or do you have aspirations to still play?
Yeah, I still play. I'm starting to trust the process with these res tourneys that I've been to. It's we'll have a few games that are the competition's a little lower, and there's those 3 or 4 teams that are in there. That's really good, and I experienced it in Calgary for the first time, and it was so awesome. It was great to see everyone come together and play and compete. And we didn't win, obviously, but we just really cool. It made me think, like, I should keep doing this. It's awesome to be in the community and the environment. It's very, because I never got to experience that, because when we're university athletes, we're not allowed to be participating in these for like money reasons and also injury reasons, right? If I got hurt and ruined my season, right? So it's the first year doing it, and I'm looking forward to the ones that I got planned in the future. And I also want to, this is something that's been like a little bit backtracked, but 3-on-3, I'm trying to get a traveling Winnipeg team to start doing more 3-on-3 tournaments, because we do have a male one that does stuff. And, I think the squad that I have for 3-on-3 is very, very good. We went to...
Your family.
Sorry?
Your family.
Yeah, my family. No, not my family. Not that. Yeah, I have some old teammates that are not playing anymore either, and they want to still stay competitive in a way, because we're senior women's doesn't cut it sometimes to be competitive. So yeah, I want to do 3-on-3. Maybe in the future, you never know. I could go back. I just needed to take a year to breathe, and I was always go and kind of start my goals with my business as well. So maybe next year I could go play pro, or I'm just kind of going with the flow type of thing. I'm still trying to keep fit though, so it's nice. I've been working out all the time. Still feel good. Like I said, I go to bed early because my body's tired.
Well, you do have a lot on your plate, but yeah, I would say that playing in native tournaments has been a great experience for us, and it's like you build great friendships, and I think it's always awesome to see like high caliber players like yourself joining in on the tourneys and just come to see what they're all about. And like, even if you're taking it over, that's still cool. Like, it's still awesome for guys like me and Mike to play against like some former like USports player, or like some all Canadians that come along and playing our tournaments once in a while. That's a great experience for us.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I felt too at the Calgary tournament I went to in January. Playing, oh boy, it was like, and like when you play res ball too, like the refs kind of let things go. So 5 games in, I couldn't walk for a week. I was like, oh my body was hurting. I had bruises everywhere. But I mean, that's the that's the fun part about it. I loved it. I've fed for that. I was like, yes, please. Like, because I've been so deprived of it. I haven't really played a competitive game since last February when I graduated, right? So yeah, it was awesome, and I want to continue doing it. So the next one I got is in March, so that should be fun in Kamloops.
The Kamloops Invitational. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So
That's exciting.
yeah.
So you, as Naim said, you do have quite a bit going on. But where can people find you? Where can people find you on for Zaagi'idiwin?
Yeah, we have social media. So Facebook, just Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance. It's spelled ZAAGIIDIWIN. I will. You can probably write it down, but it's a little hard to spell and to say. But yeah, if you spell Zaagi'idiwin on Facebook, Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance, we're on there, and you guys can follow us. Also on our Instagram, just Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance, all lowercase. We're almost at 300 followers, which is pretty cool. So we're just trying to get more exposure. And yeah, mainly from that. And we do have our website that we just recently released. So our website is up and running. We have our services already available too. So just trying to, again, gain exposure and kind of show athletes and families that we're out here and this is what can happen, not even just in Winnipeg, but everywhere else. We have online stuff going on. So yeah, I have a small team behind me on it as well. So yeah, that's where you can find us.
That's
Awesome.
super exciting, and we'll add your handle and everything on the YouTube description, and anywhere that we post, we have you as our face of our franchise. We'll have your handle on there for sure.
Good. Yeah, and then our website's on our social media as well. So it's just like
Perfect.
And we got a few weeks ago we released a pre-order link for some merch. So if you guys want to support, that's we wanted to do that as well, just as a side thing, so our kids could rep where they're training and who they're training with. So yeah,
I'm logging in. I'm going on there as soon as we're done here.
Good to know.
And then don't forget, as soon as you have your 3x3 team, you're gonna have an Instagram for that as well, so people can support you.
Yes, for sure. I got to get that rolling. But
that's awesome. Most
3-on-3 tournaments happen in the summer and spring, so we're just slowly building some interest and looking for some sponsors as well. It's very important that teams or people or businesses are supporting a 3-on-3 women's team, because traveling does take a lot, right? Especially with some of our careers that we have in our little squad that we have. But yeah,
that's right. And I forgot to ask, are you elementary or secondary level teacher?
I'm a secondary level teacher, but right now I'm doing a term in elementary, and oh boy, you got to be built different.
Yeah.
So tired by the end of the day. I just go to bed. It's part why I procrastinated my assignment this week, is because I just work all day and I'm just so drained. So yeah, I think my heart's with the high school kids. Sorry, little ones, but I'm still having fun. It's awesome. I love it. There are lots of energy, but it's just I think I'm a high school teacher. I've confirmed that.
Yeah, elementary is a whole other beast. Yeah, we're secondary all the way.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're so fun. I love playing little games with them. It's just a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I have 3 little ones, and they're 2 of them are in elementary, and it's an adventure being at home with them, and like imagine having like 20 of them in a classroom. And lots and lots of energy going into that.
Especially
so I
in
appreciate
the gym
that.
too, where they're yelling. I mean, it's fun. It's been awesome. So
okay, so we won't take too much of your time. We do have one final. We have a little game for you.
Okay.
Called Would You Rather. All right.
Okay.
Now the game is relatively simple. Your only objective is to choose one of the 4 following options. So you have to choose the best possible option out of the worst possible options for you. Now, because we're an Indigenous podcast, we have a twist. Each option is something that we've all definitely experienced playing res ball or native basketball tournaments, and each option is what you will experience every time you play ball. Alrighty?
Okay.
We try to have like a little theme with gear. So the theme is gear. Okay. All right. So option number 1, your shoes have no grip. No grip on the shoes. Option number 2, your hands are always cold. Option number 3, the ball is either underinflated or overinflated. And then option number 4, you don't have a hair tie. No hair ties.
Oh,
So which of those four do you think is the best option?
the best option. Ooh. So I'm
Okay,
supposed to
shoes.
choose the best option out of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So option 1 is shoes have no grip.
Yeah.
Option 2, hands are always cold. Option 3, the ball is either underinflated or overinflated. And then 4 is having no hair tie.
I would probably say number 3, the ball. Yeah.
Were you one of those players who used to train with an underinflated or overinflated ball?
Yep. I always had it in the back alley too. So where the ground was all dirty. So I know I made it work. I still could shoot it. So I need a hair tie. I need my shoes to be gripped. I just play terrible. I need my hands to be warm. I went into that Calgary tournament and we were showing up late and I went to go shoot a ball. My hands were cold and I just airball.
Not only that, but it was like minus 50 outside and the gym was freezing.
That was crazy. That was a crazy weekend.
Yeah. So underinflated, I think it was Steve Nash who, well, at least I think that's where I learned it from. He used to train with the ball under all the time, so then they would force him to push the ball down.
Oh.
Yeah. So your biceps are going to be hella sore after every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps the handle.
With it. I got big biceps, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Even Jason Williams used to train like that too. He would do all kinds of things like that. He'd wear gloves, dribbling the ball in the gym and stuff. It helps the handle. Especially
like a med ball too, right? That's something I used to do as well. Is just play around with the medicine ball.
Naim, you have long hair now.
Yeah.
Which of these 4 options do you think? Because having no hair tie is actually a huge thing for you now.
Yeah. Well, it used to be longer too. Like I recently cut it. It was like down here. But I would probably go
for people listening. He pointed as a nipple. It's like down to here.
Yeah. So it still gets in my face and stuff. And but I would also go with the same answer. The ball is underinflated or overinflated. I mean, you just learn to adjust to play like that. And I just can't do the no hair tie. My hands are always cold anyway, but it's worse when they're extra cold. I can't do anything with the ball. I can't catch it. I can't, I can't shoot. I can't make a pass or anything. And I can't do that. And the shoes, no grips. I can't do it.
When I was a kid, I used to play with my hair down all the time. So maybe I could have done it, but not now. So
awesome. Thank you, Robyn. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. You've been an awesome guest. You provided tons of information for us, and our listeners, if you get a chance, please follow Robyn. We'll link everything down below. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate this. So we'll have to stay in contact for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Robyn.
Yeah, of course.